Selling is not just putting something on MLS and waiting. Selling is thinking outside the box. In this type of a market, where are we going to find buyers with money?
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us here today. Show number 615. Great real estate professionals have been assembled once again here in the fourth largest city. We're going to start and talk with Amy Lampman. She is with Realty of America. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, Amy, it's great to see you here today. You're doing tremendous work. We hear about you all over the city. But first, let's tell people about your company, Realty of America.
Realty of America was launched less than 2 years ago, and we are currently in over 24 states and growing with 3,500 agents. So it's a cloud-based company. It was started by 2 luxury realtors.
That's pretty awesome. And also that speaks of some really rapid growth as well.
Yes, we are actually the fastest growing company at this moment with 3,500 in 22 months.
Now, let's give people an idea geographically where you're spending, say in the last 10, 15 transactions, where you're spending most of your time here in the Houston area.
Most of my time is spent in Montgomery County. I'm really heavy in the Woodlands, in Magnolia, Montgomery, and Spring.
For people especially listening outside of Houston, let's tell them where Montgomery County is and what are some of the drivers that are bringing people to the area.
Montgomery County is on the north side of Houston. It's about 40 minutes north of town, north of the medical center. Drivers are, there's land. People want land. So we are buying land, builders, developers. It's growing north. It's really, really expanding. There's the 1486 corridor, 1774 corridor. All of those have actually recently been purchased by some large land developers.
So developing is not going to slow down, it doesn't sound like, anytime soon.
Absolutely not. No, we're one of the fastest growing counties in Texas.
So when you have people that might stop you and they know or find out that you're a realtor and they say, and let's say you're somewhere in Montgomery County, maybe even the Woodlands, and they say, Amy, how's the market? How do you respond to that? I mean, it's a general question, but I bet you hear that a lot.
That is a loaded question. In my mind, the market's what you want it to be. So sometimes people say, oh, well, the interest rates are high, so the market's struggling. Well, I've had the biggest summer I've ever had in 12 years in a market where the interest rates are high. In the luxury market, I feel like people have been smart with their money and they have more discretionary spending and they're not so concerned about today's interest rates. They're willing to go in a more creative financing route, which is allowing those luxury buyers to make quick decisions. Sellers have things sitting on the market. Buyers, it's a smart time to buy right now.
Well, also, you're making me think about cash buyers. So you're helping both buyers and sellers, I imagine, right?
Yes.
Taking, again, maybe the last 10 buyers that you've had, how many were cash buyers? No matter the price, how many were cash buyers?
I work a lot with investors, so a lot of my buyers are cash. So I would say for me, I'm probably at 70% cash, 30% loan.
So there you go. They're not. So it's a good point because it sounds like the cash buyer, whether they're an investor or an individual, has a certain advantage.
Absolutely. That's why the market is not saying it's bad or good. I'm saying it's what you want it to be. If you've been smart with your money, then you have the opportunity to have leverage right now.
And as far as helping sellers, you're also, I would imagine you have some listings right now. Mm-hmm. Let's tell people about, are you 50-50 with the sellers and buyers, or what's your current ratio?
I would say close to that, about 50-50. I recently just sold a home last week that was the highest price sold home in a neighborhood called Bender's Landing. And that's actually pretty interesting because we were going up against all the odds with appraiser. I represented the seller. It was listed for $5.5 million, and all the odds were against me. We sold it in 3 days.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. 3 days. Tell us more, Amy.
Well, you have to be creative. Selling is not just putting something on MLS and waiting. Selling is thinking outside the box. In this type of a market, where are we going to find buyers with money? Where are we going to find people that can have that affordable budget? So I had to think outside the box, and I made a marketing plan like no other, and it worked.
$5.5 million?
Sold full price.
Full price.
3 days.
And so how? Give us a clue.
When you have a brokerage that's built on luxury and collaboration, then you simply use those tools to your advantage. So the first thing I did is, who do I know that has buyers? So I started making phone calls, and they started putting it out into the universe with a little bit of social media, and voila, I produced a buyer in 3 days.
Out of curiosity, did the buyer come from outside of the state or within the state or city?
It came from within the neighborhood.
That's even a more interesting story yet.
I know.
So that's a great example, too, of the marketing. Now, was there an open house in this case?
No.
Not even an open house or an event of any kind?
No, I do believe in events, but we hadn't even made it to the event. So it was some strategic phone calls, marketing on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. It sparked the interest of someone that knew me from a previous cloud brokerage. He slid into my DMs and said, I have a buyer for you the day it hit the market.
That's pretty awesome. So, okay, what are you going to do next? That's a pretty big win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're excited about that for you. But so now what's going on? Is that typically, are you selling $5 million properties on a regular basis, or what's more the number that you're dealing with?
On a regular basis, I'm really working with the $1 to $2 million buyers. So $5 million was a stretch for me, and it was pushed me outside of my comfort zone, outside my box. I really had to sit down with myself and have several meetings about how to get to that goal. It was hustle, it was grit, it was determination, and I was also one of the original home buyers in that neighborhood.
So you had a lot of knowledge.
History and knowledge there.
Well, let's talk about the 1 and the 1.5 and the $2 million sales. Where are the homes that are in that price in the Montgomery County area that you're working with?
So there are a lot of acreage communities now that are drawing in clients that they've been in hustle mode, they've been hard workers, they've been savers, and now they want the experience of their home. They want to be able to entertain. It's the number one thing I hear from people when I have a luxury open house is they want to enjoy their home with its hobbies. So those neighborhoods are neighborhoods like High Meadow West, High Meadow Estates, Crown Oaks. There's one that's north of us called the Cedars, which is just at the tip of luxury. They started off in like 800s. People want space after COVID.
No doubt about it. But also in that price range, am I going to be able, let's say I have $1.5 million and we're, again, take Montgomery County. What if I went lakefront? Am I going to be able to get that at that price?
Yes. I actually sold one lakefront recently for $850,000. That was in Walden. And we got it for $850,000. It had a boat dock and a jet ski lift right on the water.
Ready to go.
And the great thing about Montgomery County is the further north you go, the lower the taxes are.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
So your dollar, you get more for your bang for your buck.
See, to me, I think that's one of the most important things when I set my criteria to think about buying something is why would you want to pay more if you don't have to?
Exactly. How about pay less, get more?
Property taxes are one of those things that don't seem to ever go down, and you don't get anything back for it. So that's one of the beauties of Montgomery County, I'm hearing.
Absolutely. The other thing about those specific neighborhoods I mentioned, they're all developed by the same luxury acreage developer. What I love about the developer is they don't have HOAs that break the bank. So the HOA fees range from $700 to $850, very reasonable. And when your tax rate's in the mid ones, like 1.5.
Music to my ears.
Exactly.
The mid ones, right? Isn't that
yes.
awesome?
So we have people moving up from Katy. We have people moving up from Cypress. And actually, a lot of Harris County is moving north.
So many things going. It's so interesting to see how things shift around. And I was surprised. I thought the 5 million buyer was going to be from outside of Houston. But interesting to see how they shift around within our greater Houston area. But it's also fascinating because they tell me people are still coming in from out of state. Yes, California we hear about, but we also hear about other places. So fascinating to watch what's happening.
Absolutely. Relocation is very rampant in our area, and it's because there are so many big businesses coming our way, right? But the locals, this is what's happening. In my opinion, I see a lot of entrepreneurs that started businesses in or around COVID, and if they were coached by the right mentors, they had a growth proposition and it created leverage. Their leverage created money. Now they're in a good equity position, so they simply trade up, which is what just happened with the $5 million listing.
Well, and speaking of the people that are coming from outside of the Houston area, are you running into them? Are they finding you and saying, "Hey, Amy, I want some help. I'm in Colorado or I'm in Maryland. I want to buy a home in Houston"? You find them?
I actually had a call late last night, from one of my business partners, and he said, I have clients coming in from out of state, and they're looking for a good contractor. Well, we have a contracting business. My son owns a company called JL Renovations that services Montgomery County. So he's meeting the out-of-town clients on Thursday to renovate their home. Yes, as you can see, we are serial entrepreneurs. Another company we just launched in the past 7 or 8 months, J Legend Custom Homes. So we are a vertical builder focused on luxury, designing for lifestyle. Currently, we're building in Tomball, we're building in High Meadow West, and we're building in the Cedars.
So again, is that all Montgomery
County?
So you like that Montgomery County?
We do.
It's a good county. People love it.
My daughter just graduated from A&M last Saturday, and I hired her to create content media for us because now we are at such a rapid growth. It's time for us to get the website and all the things.
So you're working on it, right?
So it's a work in progress.
We're talking with Amy Lampman with Realty of America. Things are going well right now for you. As far as looking ahead, we're almost at the end of the year. Do you see any changes or any trends that we should know about or that you're seeing in your area?
My investors are looking for land. They see the growth pattern that's happening and some things that have recently been announced. So we're on the hunt for land. We're also on the hunt for things that are creative ways to have a tax break, which means investing in STRs, which is a short-term rental, creating active income for the client.
And one of the things people talk about a lot as far as selling, they encourage the seller, the realtor outside of Texas, encourages the seller to get their own home inspection when they're ready to put their home on the market. I don't hear much about that here in Houston. Do you recommend that to sellers, or do you hear much about that?
I recommend it as an option. In the particular home we were speaking of, the $5 million house, they had all their major mechanicals checked out and had all of their paperwork ready for me. So I didn't feel an overall inspection was necessary. When you have the roof, the AC, and all the mechanicals in writing, if you're really maintaining your home, then
that one was kind of ready to go. But say for the average person, I don't know, maybe a $500,000 home that didn't just get a new roof. I mean, do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea. Now, whether they do it, I would say when I give them the idea, they do it about 25% of the time. I want people to know that if you really want to leverage as a real estate agent, that the power of collaboration is a game changer. If you get with a brokerage that's not based on competition, but they're based on feast over famine, it is a game changer. When I moved to a cloud brokerage 7 years ago, my income quadrupled. When I moved to Realty of America, my income 10x'd. So who you surround yourself with, what brokerage you're at, and the spirit of collaboration literally will set you up for life.
Sounds good to me. Amy, let's tell people how they can reach you. Amy Lampman.
You can follow me on Instagram, Amy Lampman, Texas Realtor. You can find me on Facebook, Amy Lampman. And you can call me on 832-457-0511. 832-457-0511.
Amy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
As we continue, once again, it's time to talk about money. We have Spiro Patricis. He is the Senior Vice President at Prosperity Bank. In addition, he is the President of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. Spiro, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, here you are. Money's always fun to talk about.
It is.
It's the lifeblood of not just every real estate transaction, but about everything. So, Spiro, first, let's tell people about what you're doing at Prosperity Bank.
So at Prosperity Bank, I've been there since 2018. I've been overall in the mortgage industry, I would say, since 2000. At Prosperity, I write loans personally, and I also manage the Houston and surrounding areas with all its loan originators and managers. Houston, surrounding areas, all the way to Galveston, and up north, all the way up to College Station. I would say Metro, Houston, we cover about 7 million people.
So you have a good idea of what's going on, not just right here in kind of the center of Houston and things, but the various activities outside. Like you're saying, College Station, that's right. Pretty far.
Absolutely. It's part of our territory and our business. We got to know.
So as far as the market activity right now, you're providing loans, you and the team. What's the market like? Because we hear so many different things. What's from your perspective as providing loans, what's it like?
So it's interesting. So as we heard earlier, the market is as good as it can be. I mean, every year there's a different obstacle. The last 2-3 years, the obstacle has been the rate environment. Also consumer qualification. You kind of see that debt has, it's on a rise. Credit card debt is on the rise. But, I mean, that's on a national level. At a local level, you do have those components. But also, let's not forget that Houston is a relocation hotspot. So, as we know that the most amount of U-Hauls going from one state to another state in more specific cities, Houston is one of them. So you have a lot of job growth that's bringing a lot of people and companies in Houston and the surrounding areas. The rate environment that, we kind of see and been exposed for the past 2-3 years might be a factor, but it's not, something detrimental like you see in other states.
Credit card debt, you're saying that's going up?
Absolutely. I think that you saw a lot of money, a lot of assets in the market during COVID. You also had low interest rates, mortgage interest rates, car interest rates. So from an interest rate perspective, consumers were paying a lot less, in anything that they borrowed. In addition to that, property taxes were lower. After COVID, you kind of saw property values come up. You saw interest rates probably double or triple in some cases. Credit card, rates went up too. So the amount of money that the consumer borrowed 2-3 years ago, which what they borrowed today, the monthly payment has probably doubled or tripled. So that's where you see that you don't have the same cash in the market that you had during COVID.
How often do you see the credit scores that are above 800?
I would say credit is good, and I would say that 80% of the consumers that we see, they have good credit. And keep in mind, I mean, when we say good credit, I mean, anything over 740 kind of opens up the best possible rates for consumers. 800, obviously it's perfect, nearer than perfect credit. So I would say over 800, you're probably looking about 20-30%. Over 740, you're looking about 70 to 80%. So credit, I believe, it's still pretty good with the consumers that walk through the doors trying to qualify for a mortgage.
And when someone is thinking about a home, maybe they're started the search, they're looking on the internet, when's a good time to reach out to someone, yourself at Prosperity Bank, to get ready?
So I would say as soon as possible. And the reason is it's not only, the sales pitch of it. What I see as a consumer, number one, there's a lot of myths out there. When you look at the first-time home buyers, they don't know the amount of down payment that is required or what they can qualify for. There's a lot of speculation out there. When they talk with a subject matter expert, they can help them through. That's one. Two, I I would say in the rate environment, the more conversations that you have with your lender, the market is changing on a daily basis. It's good to have that conversation early on so you can keep an eye on the rates. When is a good time to lock? When is a good time not to lock? When is a good time to, extend that lock? So there's a lot of components that go into, this transaction. So my recommendation is as soon as possible, find your lender of choice and start talking to them.
There are so many kinds of loans. The VA loan, FHA.
Correct.
How do you figure the right loan for the individual or the family that might be talking with you? How difficult is that?
That comes with years of experience. And, you're absolutely right. And that's the one thing that I can tell my team and, either as a manager or being part of a HMBA is, as a lender or any type of profession that has to do with real estate, you cannot be a one-trick pony. You need to know from A to Z what lending is about, because that's the only time that you can get the best advice. And you're right. Every single product is not the same for every single consumer. Every consumer does not have the same needs. Your sophisticated customers are more open to an ARM product. Your first-time home buyer they're a little bit more sensitive to ARM products. They want something more in a fixed space. There's down payment options like today you can qualify with no money down. A lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people don't even know that sometimes renting is more expensive than buying. Other people are afraid of the rate environment today, but guess what? You park that question of me buying a property today, you're going to go buy the same property next year, and you're probably going to pay a nice premium because of that year that you waited. So that's where a real estate expert comes into place that they can help you.
You're the president of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. We mentioned that earlier. So let's tell people that don't know, what is the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association right here in Houston?
So the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association, actually the local chapter is the biggest chapter within Texas. And we're proud of that. So the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association is also celebrating next month their 90th anniversary.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So what we do there is it's a group of professionals, not only in mortgage, it's all the partners, appraisal companies, title companies, insurance, mortgage, you name it. So it's a nonprofit that has been put together to educate, inspire, and keep our people within reach. Either you're looking for employment, you're looking for your next chapter in life, what's your next institution, education, and teamwork and networking. In our space, networking is, I would say, one of the big ticket items, of being successful or not.
And I would say every time I go to one of the events, we could tell people how often you have the events, but I know when I go there, you have tremendous speakers, but I also love the idea, as you're saying, networking. I'm seeing people from 5 years ago. I'm seeing new friends.
Absolutely.
And realtors, like you said, title, everybody's there. It's just a great environment, always fun. So let's tell people about how often you have events and the website.
We have events every month. Next event is actually in September, and Mattress Mac is our guest speaker.
You always have good speakers.
Right. A very strong entrepreneur in the Houston, space.
Just a little.
I think that, no introductions there needed. We probably, during that event, we're going to average about 250 guests that are going to come in and just to, see what he has to offer and say. And again, it's monthly.
Junior League?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Just a side note, the Junior League, I love it because their food is good. So you get the speakers, you get the networking, and you get good food.
Absolutely. And you can find us online, either Facebook, all kinds of social media, and we have our website, which is Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. You can go and see the upcoming events, and you can also reserve a table or a spot, to attend any of our events.
So we can go and visit if we're a realtor in the mortgage world. What if we want to join? We don't have to join to go to the event. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. But if we may want to join. Why would we want to join, and what's the process?
So you can do it at a corporate level. So you become a corporate sponsor, or you can do it at a personal level. a membership. And actually right now we're running a special, which is going to be, announced in the next couple of weeks. And it's $90 for a membership that will last you a year. The best piece of being a part of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association is the networking. You get to meet a lot of people within your industry, friendly competition, but a lot of knowledge and wealth of knowledge if you join us. And obviously, as we said, all the guest speakers that come in, that is a big power play, for whoever attends.
Opportunity to make new friends. It's a great thing.
Absolutely.
So once the website for the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association is
HMBA.
HMBA.com.
Yes, sir.
There you go. HMBA.com. Now, Spiro, you're doing two important things, leading the charge for Prosperity Bank and the president. How do you do it all? I mean, both of them are big responsibilities.
It's always, I've learned early on that you have to surround yourself with smart people and probably smarter than you. So it comes down to the value of your team. And I got to say the board that we have with at HMBA, it's a group of experts. And the management team and the support network that I have at Prosperity Bank, it's close to none. So I cannot take all the credit by myself, but it's the team behind me.
So people want to know more about HMBA, HMBA.com. And if someone wants to reach out to get help with a loan, what should they do, Spiro?
They can call me at 713-693-9234 or first.last name at prosperitybankusa.com. 713-693-9234.
Spiro, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
He's back. The property tax superhero, Ali Galan, American Property Tax Services. Ali, welcome back to the show.
I'm so excited to be here again. Thank you, Bill, for having me.
Some water has passed under the bridge since you were here last. Taxes changed. There's even a thing where you're very hard to reach. It's called tax season. So, right. First of all, let's talk about that tax season. When is tax season? Because you're helping people with their property taxes, both commercially and even residentially, right?
Correct. Yes.
So what's the property tax season?
We're a full compliance company, so we handle everything from commercial property, business personal property, industrial property, residential property. Everything you can imagine is all under one roof, and we have different filing deadlines. So property tax for us actually never ends. It starts at the beginning of the year and ends at the end of the year. Sorry. But as far as the property tax protest season is concerned, usually a month before the notice deadline, which is May 15th, about April, May, that's when it usually kicks off, and then it certifies somewhere around the beginning of September or end of August, and that's when it's kind of over. That's when you can get a hold of me.
Well, I would think also when we receive notice of our property tax, I think we always think it's too high already. So thus we need help, and that's what you're doing this every day for like how many years? I mean,
I've been doing this for over 22 years now. So I've seen everything you can think of. I've been a part of any kind of hearing you can think of. I've been able to successfully get people out of very big holes that they weren't even supposed to be in to begin with because of not knowing the law. And I've been able to help the average everyday homeowner or commercial property owner and even industrial chemical plant. I do it all.
Well, let's take the homeowner, for instance, and that is there ever a case where I get the notice and, oh, that's right, or that's on target? Is there ever a case where we shouldn't protest?
So in my mind, usually you bought a home from someone, somewhere. I'm sure you have a real estate agent. The best thing to do is kind of just give them a call and say, hey, can you run me a couple of quick comps to see, where your home actually stands in the thick of things. But there's a lot that goes around, with the purchase of a home, used home, new home. You don't know what upgrades have been done on those other comps. I mean, it gets pretty detailed. So if you're in a stabilized neighborhood and the homes were, for example, built in the 2000s, well, around 2015, 2017, there was probably a little remodel in there. If you haven't done those yet, I mean, you have to dial it back a little bit. But usually you have a pretty good idea of what's going on in your own neighborhood. And the counties usually, especially Montgomery County in particular, does a very good job of staying below what your property is worth, because they just don't need the headache of 150, 200,000 people coming in protesting. They just don't have the manpower for that. So I think they intentionally notice you lower than what you would sell your property for, just to keep you happy and keep their offices relatively not as busy as other counties like Harris County, Galveston, and Fort Bend.
And you mentioned the hearing. Okay, first of all, residential, commercial, is the hearing different, or how is it different in each case?
Well, I mean, it's always different in any different case. Even residentials can be different. For example, you have high-rise, you have townhomes, you have single-family, just regular, brick and roof and backyard, white picket fence. Then you have homes that are on golf courses. Then you have homes that are waterfront. Then you have, there's a big spectrum of just
complex
homes. Yes, you could be in a neighborhood that captures all of that. Woodlands has done a recent job of making these nice, expensive, $2-3 million townhomes that are all right next to each other, and then you have neighborhoods that are golf courses. You have some that are facing the water, you have some facing the holes. Then you have houses that don't even face either one; they're on the other side of the street. So it encompasses a lot. So the hearings are different. If you're going to be comparing apples to apples, please compare the apples to apples. Don't compare an apple to an orange. They're two totally different things. And preparation, making sure you're fully prepared for your hearing. You have all your estimates. You have your comps that you're comparing yourself to. If you have a 2,000 square foot backyard, don't compare yourself to somebody who's got, like, for example, 1,000 square foot backyard. That's a big difference. If you're comparing yourself to somebody, you have a nice pool, you have an outdoor kitchen, you have everything, every amenity you can imagine. Then you're comparing yourself to a house that has no remodel, no outdoor kitchen, no pool. Can't do that. You got to try to compare apples to apples. And then, of course, the first 3 rules of real estate. So location, location, location. So that also is a very big part of the hearing.
So when someone in a company or an individual family enlists your services, how do you assess and how do you make your plan to get those taxes lower? You're very organized, precise, smart, lots of experience.
Jeez,
you like that?
Oh my God.
We got the butter out. No, it's all true.
I feel like a donut.
And more. So how do you prepare, kind of the steps that go in your mind? Because you're doing this, just like a realtor doing something on a regular basis. Yes, everything's different. But what goes through your mind to say, okay, boom, 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 this is my approach?
So first things first, if you just recently purchased a home and your value is coming out higher than what you purchased it for, that's a dead giveaway. I advise clients to handle it themselves. It's as easy as filing the protest online, uploading your PDF, closing statement, settlement statement, or whatever. The county will get it and make the adjustment. You won't need a person like me. But if your time is money and you want to spend money, fine. Come to me. I'll take care of it for you. I promise you. Another thing, since we spoke last, it usually takes me about 15 minutes to kind of qualify someone to do their work, because I need to do some research. Now I'm using AI, and AI can give me a better perspective of how much meat is on this bone. And I'm not a consulting firm that charges percentage. If clients want to say, hey, I want you to do it as percentage, I'll do it as far as percentage. But usually I have a flat fee. I have very happy customers. I charge for my time. I don't care if your house is $5 million or $500,000. It's going to take me the same amount of time to develop the evidence, present the case, and get the value. So I think that the time that I spend, I should be charging for that. I don't go, for example, for a 7-minute hearing and charge $8,500 like most of these other firms do, because they're going off of percentage. I think it's fair to give the property owner as much of the savings as possible, so they can maybe add on to their house, put their kid through college. I have no idea. Whatever you want to do with the money, it's yours. You'll see that on my reviews that, first of all, I don't have a 4-star review at all. Everything's 5. I don't even have a website, right? People put these reviews on there because they want to. I never ask for them. They come at me. They're like, what else can I do for you? You did such a great job. I'm like, if you're compelled, just leave a review. I'm happy with that. And when people read these reviews, they call. They really call, Bill. They call me up. They want my professional opinion. Some of them have even sent me gift cards just because I referred them to file the protest online and do it themselves. Yeah. I'm like, hey, listen, you did it yourself. Like, no, I got to send you a $250 Papa's gift card. Fine. I'm not going to say no to that. Send it. But in the end, I just want to get it right.
Yeah, I hadn't got one gift card yet this year. I'm waiting. You're doing really well.
You're my gift card. You got to take me out.
Exactly. But there you go. As I said, property tax superhero. You go above and beyond, and that's one of the things we like to talk about here on the show. Whether it's a real estate professional, property taxes, it's always great to see people take their profession, take their career seriously, and want to elevate the standards. Because, as you know, we've been around together, make the rounds at different restaurants and other places. Mediocrity is abounds in this world, and in some cases, we're lucky if we get mediocrity because standards are so low.
That's right.
It's a shame. But the flip side is if you do, as a realtor, as a property tax, you stand out, you get the business, so you always have, quote, a good market for your services.
And I'm not selfish or anything. If I'm too busy or I just feel like, I may not be able to handle this situation because of my time constraints or my promises to my other customers, I pass it on to another couple of friends of mine that are in the same firm. We all feed off each other. Somebody's specialty may be this. Somebody's specialty may be that. Someone's special county may be Montgomery County, which is near to impossible to get a reduction. You might as well just pour gasoline on your files in the lobby there and just walk out. You're not going to get a cut there. They intentionally keep it low. Now, granted,
they're already being fair.
They're being very fair.
And that's a good thing.
Unless they do make mistakes too. They don't know what a home sold for. They could be on the high side of things or they could be on the very low side of things. So getting back to your first question, when I look at my appraisal, what should I do? Listen, if you look at that appraisal that says $500,000 and in your mind you can sell it for $550,000, $600,000, $700,000, just keep it quiet. Don't poke the sleeping bear. Just let the bear be, enjoy the low property taxes, and just move on with your life.
It makes me think of a personal situation. When my car flooded, Hurricane Harvey, normally I'm ready to fight. I didn't get enough. But my car flooded. I won't name the insurance company, but I got the check for the insurance on the car. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I didn't know it was worth that much. I walked away and stepped away.
In the green.
Absolutely. So that's a good thing. Now, you also mentioned prior to seeing you here today that some things have changed. Any changes we should know about in our property taxes, residential or commercial?
And over 65 as well. So the first thing that went to the ballot was the Proposition 9 and Proposition 13 were the two biggest ones. And the Proposition 13 was the homestead increase. So originally you get $100,000 off of your homestead value. So if you have a $200,000 house, you take $100,000 off and then 20%. And then you have your taxable value, right? We increased that. We were able to get that to Greg Abbott and got him to increase that to get it to vote to $140,000. So every $30,000, I like to say, is about $1,000 in tax savings. Depending on the area you live. If you live in a mud lid, any special district that you may live in, so your tax rate may range from $1.50 all the way to $3.50.
Houstonians may already know this, and you mentioned the 65. So if you're 65, you get another exemption.
Yes, sir. So that exemption increased from $100,000 to $200,000. So it surpassed. Yeah. So if you have effectively like a $250,000 house, you're not paying hardly any property taxes. Right. Maybe $700 a year max.
One day when I'm 65, I'll get to enjoy that. But one of the benefits of the show here, I think, is that a lot of people, we talk about it, they've moved in. They're from this city, they're that, California, all that stuff. They come here, they don't even know that people protest their taxes, A, that it's a practice.
Have a right
to
protest. Yes, that's right.
And number two, they may not know the exemption. So hopefully as people here, however many are listening right now, you just moved into Houston, there's exemptions that you could take, and that's why we're talking about it.
And the second biggest one is business personal property tax. For example, this DJ equipment, these computers, furniture, fixtures. If you have a small business that's valued at $125,000 or less, you are tax exempt. You are tax exempt. Zero taxes. So you have an ice cream stand, you have a small business, consulting firm, whatever. If your total value is less than $125,000, you pay zero. If it's over $125,000, for example, $200,000, you're paying taxes based on how much? $75,000. So it's a $125,000 exemption. So you can group it if you have a vehicle you have a law practice, you group those two accounts together. If they're under 125, you pay nothing. And that was another one that went to the voters, that the voters voted for unanimously.
Before we close the segment, what else should we know?
Well, I recently got on with the Texas Association of Property Tax Professionals as a voting member. I'm on the board of directors. We tell Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick ideas that we have to further increase exemptions or decrease the burden of taxes on people in the state of Texas.
You're doing tremendous work. Ali Galan, American Property Tax Services. Let's tell people how to. I know people right now are saying, man, this guy's super sharp. We need to call him. How can people reach you?
Well, they can call me. I'll give you my direct number. It's 713-985-9972. Again, it's 713-985-9972.
Thanks for being with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for always having me.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Stewart Insurance, Stewart Title, two different companies, but the same company. Stewart Title, we would be honored at all times to be stewards of your real estate transactions. Certainly, we're right here in Houston with about 17 offices. Many of you know we started in Galveston, Texas. Yeah, over 130 some years ago. That's right. When Houston and when Galveston was the center of the Texas universe and the Houston universe. So, Stewart Title, longevity, well-established. And not only that, here in the Houston and Galveston area, as an international company, we have offices all over the United States and beyond. So we're there to be stewards of your real estate transaction wherever you are. And we're traded on the New York Stock Exchange as STC. But many people think about Stewart Insurance and they confuse it with Stewart Title. Well, we also have a company within Stewart Guarantee Services Company, and that is Stewart Insurance. So what do I mean by Stewart Insurance? Regular insurance, so-called regular insurance, home insurance, vacant home insurance, vacation property, the umbrella policy. Everybody loves the umbrella policy. Yes, you can get that at Stewart Insurance, the umbrella policy, motorcycle, watercraft, all those great things. And if you're a real estate broker, how about E&O insurance, cyber liability insurance, so many things. As experts in real estate that we are at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, Stewart Insurance is perhaps in a better way there to help you. In addition, one of the great features at Stewart Insurance, let's say you want to call Stewart Insurance on the telephone. You don't not texting. You might want to give them a call. A human being answers the phone during business hours. That's right. You can actually give them a call, and they'll help you coordinate, renew your insurance. They'll be with you all year long so that a lot of times, some companies, you get their insurance renewal, and you don't hear from your agent or advisor for a whole another year. At Stewart Insurance, they work with you all year long as things change in your personal life. Maybe you added a teenage driver or something like that. Stewart Insurance. It's that easy. All you have to do is call them. Again, the human being will be right there. 866-798-2827. Give them a call at 866-798-2827. And I didn't really cover the full menu of insurance offerings, but go to stewartinsurance.com again. Regular insurance, our personal insurance, our family insurance, and a business insurance at stewartinsurance.com. And of course, Stewart Title, I mentioned those 17 offices. Right now, one of the key drivers in all our Stewart offices are the escrow officers, business development officers. They're there to help you along the way as you think about real estate transactions and you think about what company do I want to use to be the steward of my real estate transaction. Well, here at Stewart Title, we have tremendous business development officers. And right now, Natalie Capel is with us. She's representing Stewart Title. Natalie, welcome to the show. Let's tell people where you're representing Stewart Title.
Hi, Bill. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I am the Business Development Director for Stewart Title, the Woodlands and Willis markets in Montgomery County.
Two tremendous offices. You're doing work there all the time. Natalie, let's tell people, the Woodlands, of course, everyone hears about. What about Willis, though? What's happening there?
Well, Willis is an interesting market because, as you well know, it's in Montgomery County. It is really changing the way people, do business and where they work and where they play. So there's a lot of growth out in Willis. The mayor and the city is very much pro-growth, but also keeping Willis, that, smaller town, but also bringing industry and really connecting businesses together.
Well, it's one of the things, and we encourage people as real estate professionals to be very familiar with our business development people like you all over Houston, of course, but what are some of the things that you're doing as a resource? I mean, there's so many, but name a few things that you do as a resource to realtors that might be out there listening in your area.
Well, as a resource for realtors, we provide things like deed information. We provide training resources for them. We also do all kinds of community events as well, particularly in Willis. And we want to be able to be a resource and a helping agent and partner for agents.
And one of the great things, too, is this is the first time you're on the show. So I want to give you an extra welcome, not just to the show, Real Estate Matters, but also to Stewart Title, because you're with the company now, what, about 2-3 months, right?
That's right. It's only been probably about 8 weeks now, but I came from the real estate agent side. And so I kind of feel like, I've got an interesting story to tell because I do know that real estate talk. I do understand what agents are looking for in a title partner.
Let's tell people, Natalie Capel, how they can reach you should they want to. And I know people are right now, they're driving around and they say, I want to bring my real estate transaction to Natalie. I'm in the Woodlands, I'm in Willis, I'm in between, I'm somewhere else, but they want to bring it to you right there, Natalie Capel. What should they do?
Well, they should call me, and here's my direct line, 346-443-1913, or you can contact me, first name natalie.capel@stewart.com. is 346-443-1913.
And again, welcome to the team. We'll hope to see you soon. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Well, as we wind up the show, she is back, Amy Lampman with Realty of America. Amy, welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, as we wind things down, Amy, what else do you want the listeners to know? We know that you're in Montgomery County most of the time doing tremendous work, but what should they know?
You should know that if you are looking for land or interested in a vertical build, please give me a call. My company is J Legend Custom Homes. We start off at about 3,000 square feet and anything larger that you can imagine.
And of course, you're helping buyers and sellers, but give us a word on what was the inspiration to create J Legends Custom Homes.
The inspiration was a lot of my sellers did not feel their lifestyle fit the home they could find. So I said, if it doesn't fit it, let's design it. So we did.
Between real estate, helping buyers and sellers, your new entrepreneurial initiative, how do you wind down, or is there any spare time to relax and have fun?
On Mondays, you'll find me at the Golden Knob playing Mahjong.
I've never played it must be a fun thing.
It's so much fun. It keeps your brain going, but it's light and funny, and wait for it, it's everywhere.
Okay, so that's what they said about pickleball years ago. Is this like a rivals pickleball? Which is better?
No, it has nothing to do with outside. It's inside. It's a game of numbers, and all the tiles are beautiful, and it literally is a century-old game that has just now come to Texas, and it's like wildfire.
Mahjong. I might have to give it a try. In the meantime, Amy, once again, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Find me on Instagram at Amy Lampman, Texas Realtor. Find me on Facebook at Amy Lampman, or simply call me at 832-457-0511. Again, that's 832-457-0511.
Amy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And now, the money man, the president of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association, Spiro Patrisis. Hey, Spiro, welcome back. It's been a while.
It has.
So here you are. Everybody loves money. So a final word or even a money tip for those. Let's say someone's struggling. You see people that have trouble. Let's say they have the low credit score and they're trying to build it up. Give them some encouragement and a quick word for those people because there's hope.
So been in this profession for many, many years. We're not in the industry of saying no. We're in the industry saying, yes, you can, and here's how you can. So the earlier you start that conversation with us, the better off you are. It doesn't matter if you have a low credit score. There's ways of how to get your credit score up. If you don't make the money today is, what can you afford today? So money is money. And you know what? The conversation is never too late to get started. So just call us at 713-693-9234. Again, that number is 713-693-9234.
Spiro, thanks for being with us. And I know a lot of people can go to hmba.com. They want to come to the events. They may want to join the organization because I'm going to be at the next event. I know a lot of others are going to be there. Great speakers, great food, always a great environment.
Thank you, and I appreciate being here today.
Thank you, Spiro. And now, once again, the property tax superhero, Ali Galan, doing tremendous work. Well, Ali, it's you. We're winding this thing down. We're landing the plane. What else should we know?
Well, you got to know a couple of things. It's never too late to protest. It's never too late at all to protest. I can check
Any time of the year?
Any time of the year. We have correction motions that we can file as well in case you've missed your chance of filing your actual protest. So like I said, we're a turnkey company. We'll be able to handle everything from start to finish. You won't have to, call us and check up on us. We're always there for you, doing all the back work and trying to save you as much money as we can.
Now, you're a busy guy. We've established that. You're doing tremendous work. But how do you unwind now? I mean, do you ever have free time?
Yeah, I do have free
What
time.
happens?
So I do CrossFit 6 days a week. I play soccer 2 days a week. And if Sunday the wind is just right, we'll take the boat out and go fishing in Surfside.
No mahjong?
No mahjong. Okay. I'm really interested in how it's played. I'd like to learn.
I would like to, because I like things that stimulate the mind. I mean, physical activity no doubt does, but the mahjong, maybe I want to take a break from Words with Friends and graduate to mahjong. I don't know.
I think it's kind of like an Asian dominoes. The pieces are really thick, and it just seems fun to fidget with them too as well. So,
well, we'll keep people posted on that. In the meantime, the phone number again is
713-985-9972.
Thanks for being with us, Ali Galan. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Together with all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, we appreciate you listening. Simply go to Stewart.com. You might be right here in Houston. You say, man, I want to bring my real estate transaction to Stewart Title. I know you do. You're thinking about it. Just simply go to Stewart.com. If you're not sure which office is close to you, it's that easy. You want insurance, home insurance, auto insurance, StewartInsurance.com. Just go there. I just renewed all my policies, 2 houses, 20 boats. Well, not really the 20 boats, but 2 houses and 1 car. That's right. It's Stewart Insurance. Give them a call at 866-798-2827 and check out the show. You can see the show. You can see the video of this show at Radio Bill. It's a YouTube channel, Radio Bill, or Stewart.com/radio. You want to see the video that way. You could see the guests. There are special effects in each and every show. There's car chases, explosions, guest outfits. It's all right there. Radio Bill. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.